Yeah.
They can get in before the countdown finishes.
So here it goes.
That's better.
Hello. Well, not again, Wayne.
No, it's all right. It was nothing to do with the ball burger. And I was vaping, and I just got gassed out by the vape. I sort of gave out a bit too much smoke than I was supposed to. Anyway, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Truth Beyond Paranormal Meet the Team. And tonight, joining me and Sam is our one of our original TBP members from way back when, Peter Ling. Good evening, Peter.
Hello. Hello.
And how are you doing?
Yeah, well, sort of 50% okay and 50% not, but we won't go into that.
Okay, that 50% not is a bit ominous.
Yes, half and half.
Well, originally it was supposed to be your partner Anna, or fiance, I should say, was going to be joining us.
Unfortunately, she's got a migraine, so she's kind of bedbound at the moment. So,
oh dear, well,
so it's just me, I'm afraid.
We hope she gets well soon.
Yeah, she'll be okay soon. If not, she can just stay in bed.
Yeah, she'll be up there somewhere. It's fine.
So at some point in the near future, we will have Anna on as part of the Meet the Team. So, obviously, she's not tonight, but eventually she will. And then hopefully, obviously, we'll see the pair of you on Saturday night for the remote investigation.
Yeah, we're all up for that on Saturday. So no worries. We'll get the job done.
Okay. So we have a list of questions that we have here. If there are anybody else in the chat room, or when you arrive in the chat room, if you are watching live, if you'd like to leave a question and say hello to us all, go hello. And we can ask the question to Peter then. So obviously I'm going to have to kick things off because I don't think there's anybody in the chat room at the moment.
No, we've got 2 viewers at the moment. It's going up and down. So we've gone from 1 to 4, back to 1, back to 2. So is there anybody out there? Come and say hello, please. Oh, we got 3 people. Hello, 3 people. Please come say hello. We would love to talk to some people tonight if we're...
Got to cover up the sponsorship.
But if not, then we're going to have lovely Wayne here come and give over all of the questions first. So,
yes, I will fire away. So, Peter, our first question is: how long have you been interested in the paranormal?
I've been interested in the paranormal for quite a number of years, but only for about the last 3 years I've really been into it. I grew up in a really old farmhouse, and when I think I must have been probably around 3 or 4, there was a little spirit that lived at the farmhouse, and I always used to be playing with her. And my mum and dad, they weren't into any of this, and they even took me down to the doctors and the psychiatrist and everything, and said no, he's fine. So I have been tested. But yeah, and then after a little while, I didn't really think much of it. I mean, I've always been interested in it, but never really done anything about it until I met Anna. And that kind of
so obviously meeting Anna has sort of put you more into the forefront of it, and you've actually sort of got more involved, and then obviously started.
Yeah, big time.
So technically, then that's sort of basically answered my second question, practically, and my third question as well. To be honest, you did that all in one go. Wow.
Well done, Peter.
That's a bit of psychic abilities going on there. You were able to answer my first, second, and third question before I even asked it.
Gold stars going on there.
So yeah, my second question was going to be, how long have you officially been an investigator? But you've said, you've really been doing this for about the past 3 years.
Yes, yeah.
So how in depth have you gone into the paranormal? Have you actually sort of done loads of research on your own abilities as such to conduct your investigations?
Yes, yeah, I've done, in the last 3 years, I've done loads of stuff. I've been through my courses and got all the certificates and everything. And obviously coming up to Scotland and doing investigations with Anna, because she owned Argyle Ghost Guides at the time.
Yeah.
And I came up and helped to do some investigations, and that helped. And then, of course, I met you guys. And we started off at RAF Upward, if you remember.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I remember RAF Upward.
I remember that well.
Yeah.
And I've kind of been out with various other groups, and yeah, I've really, really gotten into it.
I think that's been one of the good things, hasn't it? Is the fact that with us, we sort of merged loads of different teams together under one.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
And we mentioned everybody, all the individual teams that were involved are mentioned in it as well. Yeah. And over the last 2 years, we've sort of gelled into the team that we are now. Mm-hmm. And I think it's worked for us. And I know obviously you're up in Scotland now, but what that's done is that's broadened our abilities so much now, because we've got you guys up there and we're all down this end. Mm-hmm. So we've got a larger area that we can cover. So hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to sort of explode outwards.
Yeah, definitely. We can cover the whole country, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
So
we've got Hertfordshire, and then Scotland.
Yeah,
very random.
Yeah, tonight we're coming from the heart of Essex, and then next week we're coming from the heart of Scotland, and they're like,
yeah. Wow, that's gone quickly. That escalated.
So so the third question was then going to be, what was your first ever paranormal experience? So was that the little girl in the barn?
It was the little girl at the farmhouse. Yes, yeah. I mean, that went on for probably 2 or 3 years, and I can't for the life of me remember why it sort of faded out and stopped.
Right.
I really can't remember, but yeah, that went on for 2 or 3 years. And I can remember my parents being quite worried, for me, because they thought I was a bit nuts. But well, I am a bit nuts, but not too much.
not in this capacity. Not in this way.
The thing is, though, as a parent, you've got 2 ways of looking at it, haven't you? When you see your child sort of talking to something that's not there, or pretending to play with something that's not there, mm-hmm. they've got two versions of it that's possibly running through their head. It's either a ghost or it's an invisible friend.
Yeah,
usually
my mum and dad didn't believe in ghosts at all, so
straight away they would have gone down the imaginary friend.
Yeah.
They'd have gone down the imaginary friend route and gone, he's nuts, we need to get him looked at.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
I remember being pulled out of school and everything. It was really weird.
No,
really
I know
weird.
Exactly how you feel. I used to do that myself. I spent 6 months talking to my granddad, and I'll believe me, until my mum actually sat outside my bedroom door and actually listened to the conversations. And after 6 months, I've gone downstairs for breakfast. She's bawling her eyes out at the breakfast table. And I said, what's going on? She said, I found out who you were talking to last night.
Right. Okay.
And my granddad had been dead for about 7 months by that point. Mm-hmm. it freaked her out when all of a sudden I've been, she found out who I was talking to in what she thought was my sleep. But I know for a fact that my granddad was there. I could see him and I was talking to him. I was having a full-blown conversation. So, from the parents' perspective, they've got two choices. It's a ghost or an imaginary friend. And if, like you said, your parents didn't believe in ghosts. So their answer is an imaginary friend. We need to get him checked out. Get him in a straight jacket.
That's what it is. He's just nuts. Oh man!
But then, like you said, after a number of years, it sort of fizzled out. Which
it fizzled out, and I can't remember why. I think it just fizzled out, and I suppose as I grew up, I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, they claim that in most situations with spirit, as you get into or as you get older, outside interference changes your openness, and so your mind starts to close off. And it's quite possible that because your parents didn't believe in ghosts, that they
block it, don't you?
Yeah, they persuaded your mind as such to block more and more off, and then as the years went by, it just disappeared. And that's your mind being more closed off. But luckily for you, it's gone the other way now, because you've now become more open-minded, and obviously we've been out.
It has. I mean, it's like Anna and my kids. They come in here and they play with the dollies that we've got upstairs and everything, and they openly talk about spirits and ghosts, and it's just second nature to us. Say, oh yeah, that's so and so, and this is so and so, and they're great with it. They really are. Yeah,
but that's the best way. That's the best way to have it. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, my two, Chloe. She's only 8, but she's sort of not too sure. She sits on the fence, and she sits there and says, "Oh, but so and so's up with God," and I'm like, "Okay, but you've just openly admitted that you don't believe in ghosts, but you believe in God."
Yeah.
In my case, in my books, that's a big no-no. You can't do that.
No.
You can't say you believe in God but not in ghosts. You can do it the other way round, but you can't say you believe in God but not in ghosts. The Bible tells you you've got to believe in ghosts.
Yeah, so, it does. It does say that.
But Ethan, he does show quite a lot of interest, and he cannot wait to come out on an investigation. And I keep saying to him, you've got 7 years to go yet.
Yeah. Also the same. I mean, our little girl, Kira, she goes to sleep nearly every night with one of our dollies, Gemma, she's called. And she really misses her if she doesn't, if she's not in bed with her.
Yeah.
And she feels so much safer with the doll. And it's just nice. It's just normal for us. Everything's normal for us, really, apart from what's normal to other people is like weird to us.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's like, a lot of people will say to me, how can you deal with having like Adam around here all the time? And I'm like, well, he was here first. Remember that? I came into his place, not the other way around, guys. So he's now thinking, well, what the hell is this person? Why is she here? But it's I'm like, well, sometimes if he doesn't get his own way, that's when things can get a little bit annoying for me, because then he starts to move things and do things that he shouldn't, and makes me sometimes feel not very well and stuff like that to get my attention. And then I just have to kind of be like, look, mate, what are you doing? Like, come on, stop doing this. But
I mean, if any of our spirits would need attention, then they tend to steal something and hide something up, and that's their way of getting our attention. And then we have to speak to him and say, "Look, can you give it back? Because we need the car keys. Because we need to go shopping to buy some milk." And then like 10 minutes later, the car keys appear and everything's fine. So it's just normal. We just take it in stride.
When I had a conversation with Peter when we first started to talk a bit more after all this weird lockdown stuff that's been going on, he actually did inform me that one of his lovely friendly ghosts have stolen a fish from his fish tank.
Yes, it was gone for about 3 days.
3 days.
It was
So that's 3 days that they did.
it
Lovely.
was one of the big. I think it was a plec. It was quite big. It was probably about 4 or 5 inches, and it was gone. It vanished from the tank for 3 days. And we turned around and said, "Look, we need our fish back." And the next morning, it was in the bottom of the tank, happily swimming away.
Unlike our fantails, they end up going to the sewage treatment works.
Oh, really?
Oh no!
We've had 5 fantails in about 3 weeks because they keep dying. Yet we've got a weather loach sitting in the tank, happy as Larry. We introduced the 2 fantails. Originally, it was 3 fantails, and one at a time they all died. So we kept replacing them free of charge, and then they started dying. And in the end, I just said, "No, sorry, I'm not flushing any more down the toilet. Leave it. We'll just have weather loaches instead."
Pet shops can't freaking trust them sometimes. They don't treat them with respect. That's the problem.
Well, I mean, the thing is that the people that we got these fantails from, they are really good, and they know what they're talking about. But we had water tests done, and they said there's nothing wrong with your water. Your nitrates and your ammonia levels are fine. There is nothing wrong with that tank whatsoever. So they couldn't understand why the fishes kept dying anyway. So, but I just said in the end, that's it. I'm not going to get any more fantails if they keep dying. And yet the weather loach that we've got, he literally started off from being a tiddly little thing about 1 inch long. He's now like,
wow,
massive.
Yeah.
And we only feed him a pinch of food once every 2 days. He's massive. So, yeah. But anyway, we're digressing.
Talking about fish. Sorry, that was my fault again.
So anyway, so you've got, obviously, I mean, we have the same situation here. If the spirit that follows me around, Joanne, wants to sort of do something, she normally sort of creates a pain in the back of my head. Like like she's just punched me in the back of the head to get my attention. Right. And if I just sort of shrug it off and just go, yeah, okay, whatever, then she starts moving things.
Yeah.
She'll move it from one part of the house to a part of the house that it should never possibly be in. She'll put a spatula at the front door, or my car keys will disappear out of my pocket and end up on the bedside table upstairs.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, yeah, I get the message, you're here. And I have to acknowledge her. Once I've acknowledged the fact that she's about, she goes.
Yeah.
She stops messing about.
Yeah.
And to the kids, that was quite scary, which brings me to question number 4.
Right.
What has been your scariest moment on an investigation?
Scariest moment? Do you know what? I don't think I've really had one. Nothing much really scares me. We have had, it wasn't scary, but it was a bit of a tense moment. I came up to Scotland to see Anna. It would have been probably a couple of years ago now. And we knew that there was something in one of the woodlands up here. I think it's called Denali Woods. And we went up there and with a couple of other members of the team, and we were walking up through these woods, and something then sort of came through the Alice box, and we knew it wasn't right and it wasn't nice. And then we saw, I think one of the other members of the team got knocked over, and Anna was a bit higher up in the woods on the hill, and I think it knocked her over, and it sat on top of her, and it, on top of her was such a force that she couldn't move, and it was literally pushing her into the ground. And it was, she was kind of gasping for breath, and it was quite. It wasn't scary. It was intense, if you know what I mean. But it wasn't scary, I would say. But
so it's more like a surprise as such.
Yeah. And just before that moment, we were kind of asking questions on the Alice box, and it was like coming back with us, like being a bit kind of up itself, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. Sometimes when they start to get a kind of like a bit sort of arrogant, don't they?
Yeah, she did actually go back a couple of weeks later and sort the problem out. Much to my disgust, because I wasn't up here, I was back down in England, and she said that she wouldn't do it, and then my phone went quiet for about a couple of hours, and then she sent me a message and said, we've sorted the problem out, but I've got some cuts and some bruises and a few other ailments. And that was it. I didn't speak to her for about 2 days after that. So.
No.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you, Peter. I mean, I've never really had what I would class as a scary experience. More of a surprise with the mannequin dummy that I had thrown at me at Harrods Redoubt Fort.
Yeah.
You know, scared the living daylights out of the investigator that was with me, which made her quit the paranormal field altogether.
Oh, really? Wow.
She weren't going to have none of it. You know, she turned around, she goes, "That's not what I'm here for," and she run off.
You're like, well, it should have been what you're here for, because isn't this a paranormal night?
I'm left in a prison cell holding a mannequin dummy that has just been thrown 12 foot across the room at me. The head's fallen off. I'm laughing my head off. The other investigators turned around and said, "No, I'm not. Fuck that. I'm not here for this." And boom, she's gone.
Like,
she's there on my own.
To me, I think that'd be pretty cool.
And I'm like, oh my God, is someone going to help me out here? And I'm holding the torso of this mannequin dummy. And luckily, I had our teammate Kim was with us, and 2 others were in a cell next door. And they came running in, and they were filming at the time. And they actually filmed them coming out of the prison cell they were in and seeing the back of Claire's feet running out of the complex with this little white light following behind her. And then they come into the cell and go, "Wayne, what's the matter? What's the matter?" And there's me holding the dummy and the head of the dummy on the floor.
Oh, I think I'd have lobbed the head back, actually, and said, "Well, no, throw it back again."
Yeah, it was like, let's play catch.
Yeah. So to me, it wasn't scary at all.
No.
And I think it may be, obviously it's down to the fact that I've spent 17 years investigating, but I've had the interest in the paranormal since I was 6.
Yeah.
So for 40 years I've been interested in the paranormal. So in a sense, you could say that you're hardened to it. You know,
I think.
So the last thing you want to do is put up your pants and run away.
Well, no, I would love it to be like that sort of thing happen all the time. It would be great.
I think something like that happening is a once in a lifetime event. I think, to be honest.
Exactly.
You know, speaking to numerous people that go on numerous events, apart from the obvious idiots that are out there that do things on purpose, you know, they say, "Oh, well, I've had a few experiences where we've had this and this, but nothing on the magnitude of what you had."
No.
And and the good thing is, I've had someone with me when it's happened, and sort of the after effects witnessed by 3 independent people as well.
Yeah,
we'll all collaborate on that same story, on that same happening. So, you know, you can't knock it. And to have it happen, although it was a bit of an experience, it certainly weren't scary for me, but it was for others.
To be fair, I don't really know what would scare me. I would like to be tested, but you know,
it's weird, isn't it?
It'd be difficult.
Because a lot of the time, you know, when you see like all of these, by the way, I'm going to say hello to everybody that has joined us. So Mick, Fran and Mandy, hello. Sorry, I didn't say hello earlier, guys. I was just letting these guys talk, you know.
Mandy, tonight we are actually doing a Meet the Team episode with Peter Ling.
So this guy past Wayne This is Peter. He has
Hi.
been with us for, well, since the beginning, since our first ever episode. But unfortunately, Peter now lives up north with the lovely Anna. So we don't get to see them very often. But I am hoping that at some point we are going to go up there and see him and actually do an actual proper investigation into his very haunted location. I have a feeling that I will come away from there on my fucking hands and knees. Sorry, guys, I said fucking. I said it twice. But you know, I don't look at that. But yeah, just ignore me, guys. This isn't going out too far this time, so it's all good. But yeah, no, it's one of those things. Like I was saying, you know, when you see a lot of stuff happening in these TV shows, or you know, even some of the stuff that you see on YouTube and stuff. You see all this stuff, you see people getting really, really scared, you know, like scared to death of these things. And I'm like, they must be acting it a lot of the time. Because from my personal experience, when something happens that's quite big even, I just end up just not really like making any reaction, really, to be fair. No. It's more of a shock, isn't it?
A lot of the time on the TV, they tend to walk away or run away from these things that are happening when they should be running towards them. You know, it's
yeah.
I don't get it.
Or like some people scream like a little girl. I didn't say that.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's what I mean, Wayne. You know,
after 20 years.
Yeah, you'll see exactly. Yeah, fishy. But you see us, and when we're live, you'll hear something drop in the background. I remember when we were at Harwich, and something dropped between us, and we couldn't find it, and it hit something, and we were all just like, what the hell was that?" But you didn't see us screaming or anything. You just saw us like,
"Oh, was that the bench?" Was
yeah,
that on the bench? Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we're all like, "What the hell was that?"
The thing was though, when that bang happened, you had two that did the fight or flight, and they run for it, didn't they? But everybody else went, "Where did that come from?" And we're all literally looking around our feet, we're looking around our backsides, we're testing different objects and moving them to see if we could recreate the same sound that we heard. And we couldn't until somebody else went and banged something on the other side of the room and made out that it was the same thing again. And then we're like, yeah, right, okay, whatever. You've just repeated exactly what we've done, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, that was a bit silly.
So you don't run away from the object, because the whole reason why you're there is to find out what it is, what caused it. And you run away, you're not going to get the answer.
No.
Yeah.
So you have to stay there.
We're here to, so then people are able to see what we see, and if we run away from it, no one else will see it either.
No one's going to see it. Exactly.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, you're there to investigate, aren't you? So
yeah, and the thing is
running the other way.
it's like watching a horror film. You know, you watch the horror film and you get this really sort of mysterious and suspenseful bit of film footage. And the music sort of builds up the atmosphere, and then all of a sudden something jumps out and it makes you all jump, and that then, you know, if you're sitting there watching this happening on your TV and it makes you jump and you go, "Oh my God," and then run out of the room, you're not going to see what happens afterwards.
No.
You're not, you know, this murderer comes out the woods and he smashes in the door, and you jump, you run out of the room. You don't see that the girl that's inside the house is standing there with a 12-gauge shotgun and blows this bloke away. You know, so you miss a pivotal moment by walking away.
Exactly.
And that's why we stay where we are, because you can't do that. You've got to stay there.
Yeah.
To investigate. That's why you're there.
Exactly.
I saw a face at window years ago in WGC with my cousins at house behind the pub. Looked spooky at the time, as like Norman Bates type of horror house. Problem is, and I had this with a guy who posted some photos on our local community Facebook page. And someone tagged me in this post, and I looked at it straight away and went, pareidolia. He basically
was that the boat?
no, we had one of our local hospitals. One of our local hospitals has closed down, and they're going to redevelop it and turn it into a series of flats. And this lad had walked past and decided he wanted to take photos of it before they altered the building too much. And when he looked at the photos, he went, "Oh, that looks strange. That looks like a face in the window."
Right.
And he then took another picture through another window, which had sort of a lightened bit of brickwork, which had come from a window opposite that.
Oh, right, yeah.
He was in. And everybody was going, "Oh, that's really spooky." Then I got tagged in it. So
never tag Wayne in anything if you don't want it to be literally ripped apart.
If you don't want it ripped to pieces or be told the honest truth, then don't tag me in it. It's simple. I looked at the photos. I zoomed in on the pictures in the specific areas that this guy is talking about. I then did a reverse negative. So I changed all the dark to light and the light to dark and sort of changed the polarities of everything. And I then wrote on this bloke's post and said, "You've got nothing there but pareidolia. You've got a tree in front of that window. The sun is to the left of that tree. It's casting a shadow of that branch onto your window, which is creating what looks like somebody's face. Vice versa with the other picture you've taken, there is light coming in through the far window, which is casting a bit of light onto the wall, and you're automatically thinking it's a ghost."
Yeah,
and I bet you
everybody started liking what I'd said. And I said to them, as a paranormal investigator myself, and investigating for God knows how many years, you have to find scientific proof. There's no point just taking a picture and going, "It's a ghost." You could clearly see the branch in the picture, and you could see the reflection of the branch in the window. But he goes, "Oh, it looks like so and so." And I'm like, "No, it's not. If you look, it looks more like the picture looks more like Abraham Lincoln." And so what I did was I did an outline of the opposite of the picture of Abraham Lincoln. I did the opposite, and I actually went around the outline of Abraham Lincoln's head and went, "That branch is Abraham Lincoln." And I don't think somehow Abraham Lincoln ever visited Colchester. So the ghost of Abraham Lincoln is not going to be at the Colchester Hospital.
No.
Sorry. And that was it. He shut it down. He didn't like it. So,
hi, by the way, thank you very much for joining us. So this is Mandy. This is Mandy's cousin, who was actually there at the place that she was talking about. So it says Mandy Louise Yearley. That was the cottage behind the Long and Short Arm in Lensford. So thank you for that, for commenting on that, Vicky. So yeah, so she was apparently there when Mandy saw that face behind that at that pub. So yeah,
it's difficult to know the you know what it is, and that's why we do what we do.
That's why we do what we do.
So, what has been your funniest moment on an investigation? Now, only doing it for 3 years, there's got to be some quality moments.
Yeah, but the one that does stand out is the one at Dunwich. Yeah. The rather nasty smell that we thought was some kind of spirit was actually your bottom.
It was paranormal. It turned out it was just Wayne.
Well, I would say I had, but it's disappeared.
Yeah,
I'm taking precautions with me next time.
But that's why I love the group so much, because I wasn't even
on the side
there.
by Ellen, but I'm going to be armed and dangerous next time round, just in case.
Yeah, you're going to have like sanitizer, face mask, and also like air spray. Just
a gas mask.
Well, what I might just do is I might douse my foot, because obviously we're going to be going out legally as per government guidelines.
Yeah.
We will be going out next month.
We're going back to Dunwich. Better not have that damn boar burger, otherwise I swear.
We're going back to Boarburgerville.
Buy him a salad.
I am saying, do you know what? If anything, I'm going to say now that if anything, it wasn't the boar burger that created the bad smell. It was the salad.
It was the salad.
My body does not like vegetables.
Oh, okay.
So it's the other way around.
Anything bread related, anything bread or meat related, I'm fine. Or sugar related. Anything vegetable or salad or fruit related, and that's me killing everybody with gas because it just. So, what I might do is go for the boar burger, but minus the salad.
Yeah. I wasn't, just to let you know, 6 people that are viewing. By the way, I wasn't even there, so I double booked myself, and the first thing I see is literally this episode has got Wayne did the whole episode, by the way, as well. So he actually was the one that created that whole entire episode. But I watched it really excited, and then I got to the end and I was like, what is that? But yeah, it was a freaking epic outtake. I loved it.
That's your traditional blooper reel, that right there. I
think there were some good ones good bloopers on the beach as well, wasn't there?
There was amazing bloopers on the beach. The best one was literally you, Wayne, trying to get through all that. There was just 2 lines that you just couldn't get quite right. And then it was when you did get it right, you were like, "Whee!"
That was when we were standing in the churchyard, wasn't it, with the remnants of what was left of the church on the cliffs.
Was it?
We must have filmed that bit about 20 times, and I was just getting so cheesed off that I couldn't say the line.
Yeah.
And then when I eventually did get it right, I went, "Yes!" And we never used it.
We never used it in the end.
So
did that.
I went through all of that, and we never used it in the final cut. So that was a waste of time, but it was hilarious.
I will say one thing as well about these guys. So I have worked, Mandy can back me up on this. You know what, Mandy, I'm going to even show you this after tonight. But you can back me up that I have worked with professionals doing modeling and photography and video and acting for 17 years. And these guys were the first people to ever freaking be able to make a bloody triangle shape.
Yes, we were.
Together, all at the same time, with Wayne at the front, and then they all did this shape, came out of 3 different doors as well, 3 different angles, and it was really difficult to do. And they did the triangle shape, 1 take, guys. This way, 1 take was all it took, and I've tried to do that.
Whose genius idea was it?
It was all you guys. It wasn't even me fucking coming up with all that. But,
and I even managed to trip down the steps.
Yeah, you did. The first time he came out to introduce himself as a presenter, he fell down the stairs. Good point.
Hello and welcome to Truth Beyond.
Truth Beyond, I've broken my face. Yeah, we've had some good times, guys. We really have.
Of course.
Yeah, and the outtakes.
And many more to come as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm hoping that we'll have Peter join us on some of them still, and he can come live with us. So I'll invite him via video instead of do it through here or something.
Yeah.
That way. That would be really cool. Because you may hear and see stuff that we don't. So you never know.
So we're going to go back to these questions because no one really has asked Peter any questions yet. So I'm going to have to go back to my list.
We've got 7 people here. So once Wayne is done with his question, please can you give Peter some questions to answer as well?
Or you can add the questions in between while we're talking. If you put them in the chat, as soon as we see your question and we're finished with Peter's answer, then obviously we'll go on to one of your questions. it saves me asking them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we do have one, but they've asked me the question. I was like, that went well. So they said, did you feel any ghostly senses on any of our shoot locations? All of them. Like literally all the shoots that we've been on. I mean, apparently according to Peter Fox, I have actually, I don't know, was it Peter Fox or was it you? Because I can't remember now which one of the Peters it was that said it now. But I remember that they told me that one of the little girls that is with me at the moment was actually from one of my shoots at a hotel.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Is that you that said it?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, I'm sorry. I thought it was been Foxy this whole time. There I was saying it was Foxy.
I think I remember you telling me Foxy has told you something similar.
Yeah. He'd come up with something similar whereby he said, you've definitely got somebody from one of your shoots that has come back with you. But he never told me it was a girl, and he never told me that it was from a hotel. And we had been to a hotel that was actually my where I got married. So we went back there to do a photo shoot a couple of years ago. And yeah, I had a few very strange paranormal experiences in the room that we stayed in that night. And apparently she's followed me home, guys. So that's good. So now we've got another one.
Yeah.
I really do attract these. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind as long as they don't. Yeah, as long as they don't make me ill, I don't mind. But yeah. Sorry, what was that?
And not so nice ones as well.
Yeah. I had a couple of really crappy ones, didn't I? But
you just need ones that are going to make your breakfast first thing in the morning. That's all.
Exactly. Like if I had a spirit that did that and like could clean up, that would be like amazing. I'm pretty certain that right now Adam is just like, don't mock me, I swear to God. Fail.
Okay, we keep digressing, so we're gonna go back to the question.
Yeah, let's go back to the original questions.
So, out of the places that you've investigated so far, what location would be the highest on your bucket list of places you haven't investigated yet?
Places I haven't investigated yet.
Yeah. And it can be anywhere in the world.
I would like to go to the catacombs in Paris.
Oh, yes. Apparently that's a really good place to do.
That is one place that I'd really love to go. As for other places, like the famous ones around here, I'm not so sure that I'd want to go to them. I prefer to go to like old abandoned places, just normal places. I think you get a lot more from them than what you do from these so-called haunted locations.
Yeah.
I think, just to turn up.
Yeah, sometimes you just turn up to a place and suddenly you're like, okay, there's something here. Like I don't know what, but yeah.
And that appeals to me a lot more than anything else, really.
Yeah, and the thing is there are 10,000 registered haunted locations in the UK. So there's years worth of episodes, I suppose, for any team to do. But obviously, some places will only charge £150 for the night, and others will pay or charge a couple of £1,000 for one night. There are registered haunted locations that will not allow anybody in. So once you've narrowed it down to a decent price range, then you sort of like got a happy medium. But I agree with you, Peter. It'd be nice to actually go to somewhere that is haunted, but isn't.
Yeah, we drive around, and occasionally we pass these old places and think, oh, next week we're going to come back here and have a wander around, and we have done that. And the things that you find, you haven't got any history of anybody telling you what's there and what's not there, or Fred is over in that room and Daphne's over in that room. you know, you just go in there not knowing what you're going to find, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I never knew that here was haunted until these bunch of people turned up and then made it quite apparent that it was. I didn't think it was as bad as it was. I was like, damn, okay, it was more than I thought. Oh God.
Okay, so you've actually said about just driving around and going to places and actually finding whether they're haunted or not. But you also own your own haunted location. So would you like to tell us a little bit about it and what sort of experience have been had there?
Yes, well, we're actually we own 7 acres of Celtic temperate rainforest, and the house is kind of like slap bang in the middle of the forest.
Oh my God!
And we have 7 ley lines right underneath our house.
Okay.
Wow.
Which is
cool.
makes it pretty active. The previous owner actually had, I think they had, she said that she had a shaman in, and she actually tried to reroute the ley lines. So they went round the house rather than through the house.
Yeah.
So obviously when we got here, we changed that so they come back through the house.
This is it.
As you would.
This is Peter for you, by the way, guys. I want that.
Yeah.
I want those ghosts.
I don't like that diversion. I think I'll put it back to the way it was.
Yeah. Well, you know, you can't have any visitors if you don't have them come through the house, can you? So, you know.
Exactly. I mean, what's the point in having a haunted location and hire it out to people if it's not haunted because the ley lines have been moved?
And we actually live in a glen, and the glen is actually nicknamed the Glen of the Healers.
Oh, and wow. That's a beautiful name.
There's actually 7 volcanoes that surround the glen.
Oh.
And we've got a river. We've got a river that runs round our boundary, and that's all the water that comes from that river runs through these volcanoes. So we've kind of like got volcanic water and loads of quartz and God knows what else in the river. It's
which I've seen you like swimming in.
Yes.
I like standing in. It's a bit cold.
And laying down in it as well. Not so much swimming because it's not deep enough, but
it is in places. It is in places.
No, just the bit that I saw you in then, that just wasn't deep enough.
No, that was kind of like a forfeit, and that was flipping cold.
Do you know what? To be honest, I think I'd have jumped in there and done that and all because that looked quite nice in there actually.
It did, but it looked absolutely beautiful.
Take your jeans and socks off and stand in the river, you can feel the energy.
Yeah,
you can feel the energy in the water. It's quite something.
Okay, well, you mentioned about having like the quartz running down through the river.
Yes.
And then you also have the Crystal Cave.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we own the Crystal Cave where you can get just about any we can get hold of any crystal that you want for anything at all. If you tell us what you want, we can get it for you. We've got a lot on our Crystal Cave page at the moment that's up for sale. And we do healing packs. We've now started branching out into doing magic potions and stuff. So,
cool.
So we often sit in the kitchen at night making up these potions, and yes, it's quite interesting sometimes.
and anything else being sold in your Crystal Cave? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say no more.
Oh yes. Your book.
He's like me.
Yes, your books are high on the agenda. So yes, but you know we've got we're now going to be branching out into doing healing bath bombs. We've got all the stuff ordered. We've got all the stuff ordered that should be here in a couple of days. So we're going to sit in the kitchen one night and concoct a load of bath bombs up. So
amazing!
Be a fun evening.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Now, Mandy, as we've actually got someone has asked us a question. Peter, what got you into the paranormal in the first place? Thanks, Fran. Thank you for joining us.
Well,
thanks, Fran.
I would say it probably was Annabella.
Right.
She actually got me back. I mean, apart from the childhood memories that I have, she was the one that actually got me back and wanted to, you know, carry on and do it.
Brilliant.
And then from there, it just went rocketing. And then I remember Sam getting in touch with me, and we all met at RAF Upwards, and haven't gone back since.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, as soon as it was weird, because as soon as I started to connect with people through the groups that I was on, of course, I already knew Wayne beforehand. But when I started talking to people, it was just like, right, I know that this is going to be what I have to do. This is what I've wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah.
And this is what I know that is going to happen. And then when I met them, it kind of confirmed it for me. It was like, no, these guys are good guys, and this is definitely going to work out a right treat, because everybody can actually put up with Mark. I mean, that in itself is a freaking trial.
Yeah, but I think more to start off with, it was more everybody being able to put up with each other.
Yeah, and everybody got on.
I think over the last 2 years, that is where we have discovered who gets on with each other the most.
Yeah, who can sort of,
and that's the stage we're at now.
There was quite a few of us at RAF Upward, wasn't there?
15 in total.
There was 15 of us overall, yeah, and then it kind of dwindled a bit.
We just all got on together. You know, it's incredible.
Exactly.
So, but I need to go back to your Crystal Cave thing, because I've just realised something that you said about the quartz in your river.
Yeah.
Have you actually thought of using the quartz that's in your river for the Crystal Cave, turning them into little ornaments? And
yes, we're currently we actually walked the river a couple of weeks ago and picked. I think it took us about 5 minutes to pick about 4 kilos of quartz.
Wow.
And
you've got a lot running through there then.
Oh, it's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. I mean, there's still, you know, there's loads out there. Every time the river rises and then it drops, it just brings another load through.
Yeah. Is there any bedrock nearby? So if I come up, I can do some panhandling.
I have no idea. Probably somewhere.
You know what? I'd love to do that. I'd love to do a bit of panhandling. Get in there and start. See if we can find a bit of gold.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
I think closer to Oban, and said there was. I'm sure I can remember telling me when we drove past it that there's somewhere where you can do that. I'll have to ask her.
Well, if there's bedrock and hills or mountains nearby, and you've got a river that runs from them towards where you are, at some point there will be a layer of bedrock, and that's where you're looking for the gold, because that's where it all collects. So, don't know. Yeah. Once you've sifted through all that quartz, you never know. You might find some gold in there.
Well, it would be nice.
Yeah. Oh, I got a carrot. Like, oh no, not a carrot.
Because then what you can do is you can open up another part of Argyle Ghost Guides in the Crystal Cave, where you can invite people to come panhandling.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it would be like, you know, pick your own quartz sort of thing.
We've got the cottage on the property, so we can maybe look at letting it out for panning for gold.
The Scottish Gold Rush.
Hello, Facebook user. Who are you? Like, there's a Facebook user, but I don't know who they are. Sorry, guys.
That might be Reg or Lou.
Hi, Reg or Lou. If it is you guys, just come on in and say who you are.
You can imagine it, can't you? Gold Rush, Scotland. This week on Gold Rush Scotland, Peter Ling.
They've got to find us
for gold.
It would just
Not
be
many
amazing.
people find us where we are, so we're pretty well hidden.
Yeah, because I mean,
We don't get bugged.
with your place, you obviously, like you say, you're going to be renting out the cottage and that, but you got like the farm shoppy stuff that you do as well.
Yeah, we're hoping to. That's going to be on next project. We're just finishing off re-roofing the stables, and then we've got a little shed or a little type wooden cabin thing in the woods, like a little cabin in the woods, more or less. That we're going to turn into a shop. So I think we're going to have because we've got the cottage, we're going to have a little shop in one area. Another area we're going to sell homeopathic stuff, and then the other area will be for the crystal caves. So but I think that'll be late summer before we get that up and running. So that needs quite a bit of work.
Yeah, of course, mate. No problem. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing it though. I've seen her jams. Her jams look good.
Oh God, yeah. We make a mean chutney.
Darn, I can't even have chutney.
I'll eat it for you.
When I come up and see you, I'm going to be the bane of your life. I'll tell you that right now. What I can and can't eat.
Okay, we've got this is Everett from Florida. So hello, Everett from Florida.
Hi, Everett. I know Everett. Hi, Everett.
Sam knows you. Basically, this is Meet the Team, Truth Beyond Paranormal, with one of our team members, Peter Ling, who is based up in Scotland. We just basically doing a live feed with various team members, introducing them to you, the viewers. So we just sort of ping this out live across Facebook for you to all enjoy and get to know us all individually. Which unfortunately is getting close to the end.
Yeah, sorry guys. But
so obviously you've got all of that going on. You've got the shop, you've got the crystal cave and the cottage and everything else. But you also mentioned to me before as well about looking into sort of hiring out as wedding venue as well.
Yes, well, we're hoping all things go into plan. Me and Anna are getting married in the forest in the summertime.
Sorry, I had a moment.
I'm really excited.
I haven't seen everything, but I've seen all of the beauty that's going to be happening at your wedding so far, and I'm pretty stoked for this. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, sorry, what was that?
Have you seen the dress yet?
I saw the dress. Yeah, I gave Anna a lovely message about that. Do you know what's weird as well is that I know the designer.
Oh right.
Yeah, I worked with so Annabella's dress. I worked with her original make of that.
Right.
So she did a mock-up version of that for models to wear and sent it out like to people across the across Europe, basically, to get more work in for herself, and that is her biggest seller. So I actually contacted her and said, oh, by the way, one of my mates is getting married in that. And she was like, really? I want to see. She was so stoked. She's never ever had anyone buy any of her dresses for a wedding before. Not once.
Really? I know she did send me a message and say that she wants to, or she would like to see all the wedding photos. So she said to me as well. She said, "You know what? I want to see that because it sounds like it's going to be beautiful." And I was like, "Yeah." I said, knowing them, it's going to be quite interesting. So I said, "Just be prepared." We're going to have a proper witchy wedding in the forest, and then hopefully we're going to learn a bit from our wedding, and hopefully hold weddings here.
Hold weddings similar.
Yeah.
Promote them. Yeah. Well, if you need any help, let me know because that's what I do. So yeah, go for it. It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it very much. So.
Yeah. We're slowly getting there.
Yeah.
Just need to get the divorces sorted, and then we'll be fine.
Yeah, and Mandy here, she was going to have her wedding on Halloween. So Mandy was going to get married on Halloween and have it like a true gothic horror wedding style.
Nice.
And she's okay. She's corrected me. I had a Halloween wedding, Sam. Of course you did. I'm sorry, but she had to have it through lockdown, you know, and it was a real shame because she was meant to have everybody there with her. So it was a real nightmare. But we're hoping, Mandy, that you will probably have a reception at some point and we'll all be there. That would be cool. So yeah, sounds good.
I went to a medieval themed wedding once. That was quite interesting.
Right.
Yeah, I love them being themed, you know.
And I was the only Muppet that turned up in normal outfit. Everybody else was all dressed up like knights and squires and various ladies and lords, and there was me just turned up in my normal clothes.
He's like, no, here I am. I'm just me.
I just turned around and went, I'm the Laird of Chow Glen. I can wear what I like.
Yeah, exactly. Just like I just am. Like, just deal with it.
That's all right. We're glad to see you here. That's all right. That'll do.
Exactly. Like when it's a wedding, like it doesn't matter what happens. The people are so freaking intense. Everything's so intense. You're like, yeah, I don't care. Like, happy to see you, mate. Like,
I mean, if it was a Star Wars wedding, then I would have got dressed and made an effort for that.
No, we're not doing that.
I'm pretty
we're not
good
going that far. Yeah,
I would always have to be Darth Vader without a doubt because I've got the voice. So obviously a Star Wars wedding, that's something I dress up for. Any other wedding, it's just a posh frock job, isn't it? So
yeah, basically. Well, if you want a singing siren at your wedding, Peter, you can now have one because I now do that as a thing as well. So
okay, fantastic.
Although it may take about 4 men to get me into the tail, because that's what I had the other day. I wish I had got that on camera. I really do. It was hilarious.
Oh, we've got a hot tub. We can stick you in the hot tub.
Yeah, there you go. Job's a good one.
I'm seeing 2 sirens there. You singing, and then the police car turning up.
Yeah, like there's a weird fish woman. Like,
quick, take her away.
Boiling away.
Oh, dear.
There's a mermaid, quick.
Yeah, it would happen. So what did Steve White say? So Steve White here, gold hunting and ghost hunting, the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Oh God, it's happened.
Definitely.
Well, there's a lot of profit to be made there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like go on a ghost hunt and then you could go and hunt for some gold too.
Well, what you could do is you could charge for one or the other. You could turn around and say, right, you've got a choice. You can pay £150 to do a night's worth of ghost hunting and get the gold hunting for nothing, or vice versa. Which one do you want to profit from more?
That's what we're hoping to actually do, paranormal weekends in the future. Once obviously, once things open up again. So because we've got so many places, within 5 or 6 miles of us. It's unreal.
Yeah,
exactly.
And everything it's incredible.
But the thing is obviously we would go further afield, but obviously with restrictions being as it is and finances and everything else, it makes it difficult. And we certainly weren't going to do anything like certain other groups is and sort of travel into areas where we're not supposed to travel into and make ourselves look like idiots, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's all being well, I mean, once lockdown's finished, we'll all pile up there and interfere with your land and mess around on your ley lines.
Oh, Mandy said that she would be up for a weekender one, Peter.
Fantastic.
So Mandy is up for it.
Look us up on Facebook then.
Look us up on Facebook and he'll be able to sort it out with you for that.
I mean, if you go on to
Facebook.
That's Argyle Ghost Guides. One of their lovely mods or admins will bring you in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look that up.
Definitely.
Water spirits, crystals, sirens. That sounds great. There you go. It's already in the making. Oh no. I don't want to have to get into that tale too many times, I'll be honest. It was a nightmare. I didn't know how bad it was going to be. The thing is heavy. Like, I can't wait to show you guys what I mean by that. So who is the Facebook user? Unless that is, again, just Everett, in which case, then that's great.
I think it might be Everett.
I think it's still Everett, which is cool. So water, spirits, crystals, and sirens. Yeah, he likes that. So Greta said, you guys just popped up on my feed, and that was funny. That was a funny thing to hear. Oh dear. Come have a weekend at my house and see what you can find. I don't know where you live, Greta.
Yeah, where are you situated, Greta?
Situated, Greta, because if it's like in the US, then it may not be possible. I say may.
Well, no, you don't say that. You say if you're in the US and you're paying, then we'll be there.
Yeah, we'll come right over. But yeah, until then, and after COVID, of course, it really didn't sound like a ghost hunting convo. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't, especially if we're talking about, oh, she lives in Cheshire, so that's not too bad.
Yeah,
Cheshire's not too bad.
The thing is, Greta, is tonight is a meet the team moment. We usually leave the remote investigations or the little docu chats that we do for the weekend ones. This weekend it will be Peter and Anna doing a remote investigation part 2.
The last one was freaking great. I love the last one with Lingy.
And that is pretty much the last remote investigation that we'll be doing, because in May we are going out live again.
We're going to be going back to Dunwich.
Returning to Dunwich.
Fantastic.
So I'm looking forward to that. Hi, Peter / Anna. Okay. Yeah. So Anna, unfortunately, bless her heart, she's not with us tonight, but she will be with us hopefully on Saturday. But she's got a migraine at the moment, so
she'll be here Saturday.
Wish her well and give her your healing. That would be amazing, because she gives a lot of healing to others. Mm-hmm. So it would be nice to give her some back when she's in need. So yeah. And Mick says, can't wait for Dunwich.
Yes.
Neither can we. I've never been there.
Mick is going to be with us. Mick, I will message you at some point over the next week or so to arrange what we're going to do regards to that. So
it's going to be really cool. I'm really looking forward to that.
I can't wait to go back there because of obviously the things that we picked up there last time. And for me, probably the weirdest thing was the grey figure that 3 of us saw in the graveyard there.
Yeah,
that was just freaky. And your rucksack as well.
Yes, that was quite something, wasn't it?
That was mind-blowing. And although we didn't actually catch it moving on the camera, Peter had his rucksack with him, which was full of stuff. And there were a couple of heavy objects at the top of the rucksack. Now, Peter put the rucksack down on a bench, and it was sort of mid-seat. So it was in the middle of the seat.
Yeah.
And something made it tip over. Now, technically, because of the heavy items at the top of the rucksack would have actually forced the rucksack off the bench. That's how heavy it was. But it was almost as if something was standing there saying, excuse me, that's falling off, and had put their hand underneath it to stop it from going off completely. And it just stopped. It was literally like that over the edge. The edge of the seat was like that. And all the heavy part of the bag was over the edge, and it didn't move.
Yeah, it was like this, guys. It's like here's the bench, and the thing is like that.
And we all agreed that technically the bag should have fallen off. And we walked over to it. We got the camera on it, and you could see it teetering over the edge, and it just wasn't going. And then obviously we picked it up and put it back on there again. That was just completely freaky.
Yeah.
And then the grey mist that we saw by the gravestone, and then there was myself, Kim, and Peter Fox, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yep. Yeah.
Foxy, we all went round different ways round the church, and
I've
there
never
was
seen
nothing
you run
there,
so
but
far.
we all saw it.
Everybody running to try and catch this thing.
Yeah. But this is what we're saying about, you know, you see something or you hear something, the last thing you're supposed to do is run away.
Yeah.
The idea
Not-
is you run
not
to
you
it.
guys.
And,
Yeah.
and that's what we did. We saw it and we all gave chase and we all split up and went round different ways around the church, and there was nothing there, you know. But that's what we're there for.
Are you going to go back to the Nissan huts when you go to Dunwich?
Quite. I think so. I think I'd like to go back to the Nissan huts because obviously, although there wasn't a lot of activity there, there is still the strangeness of the fact that there's no electricity in there, that the K2 meters were going bananas.
Yeah. There's definitely something in the second Nissan hut.
Yeah.
I think the first one...
That was the one where we had the hits with the EMF meter, wasn't it? The EMF meter was going crazy, even though there was no electricity there. So something had to have caused them EMF meters to go nuts the second we got it near the wall.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully the Hornets won't be there.
Well, you're probably pretty safe this time of year.
I don't know. I've seen quite a few bees flying about around here. So,
yeah, we've got the bumblebees, but no sort of honeybees or anything yet. So
I've seen a few. I've seen a few down here, and a couple of wasps. So they're getting ready. It hasn't been overly cold down here. We've had a few little sort of micro flurries of snow, but when the sun's come out, it's been quite warm here in Colchester.
Yeah, we still get light here, so I think that's kept them away a bit.
Yeah, so down here, they're all starting to wake up. So, in answer to Mandy's question, we are going to leave that one because Anna is going to do a Meet the Team live at some point in the near future. So I will jot that. That will be jotted down, obviously, for a question to ask Anna when she does her live.
Yeah.
So I think we've come to pretty much the end of tonight's little show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think we've done well tonight with all of the questions.
Yes, I think so. So we'd like to thank everybody that's come onto the chat room tonight, and for the few questions that have been asked. Mandy, we will not forget. We'll put that down as one of the questions in the Meet the Team with Anna, either next week or whenever Anna's available. So we would like to thank you, Peter, for joining us tonight. And
thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Obviously, we will see you again on Saturday night at 9:30. Was it, Sam?
Yeah, 9:30 we'll be doing again. And you guys just basically investigate however you personally want to investigate yourselves. You know, you do it the way that you personally feel is best. What you guys feel is going to give the most activity personally. And then and you do it for, you know, if it doesn't seem like it's going going to go any further or whatever, then you guys can say, look guys, you know, we've gone as far as we can, sort of thing, you know. So, but yes guys, we're looking to do another amazing live on Saturday night, 9:30 p.m. here on the group with Peter and Anna, and with their haunted objects, which they have shown their dolls only before, and that was good enough for me. So we're going to.
That one.
That was very interesting. If you haven't seen that, you can go back on the live feeds and see that one, or I will link you guys to it if you want me to at the bottom here after we've left for tonight, because we do actually have a doll recorded on camera that isn't moving. So yeah, that's something which I was not expecting, and these guys said, oh no, she will. And I am not the type of person that believes in haunted dolls very often, and these two have now made me a believer in that. So it's very possible that when I do go to their lovely location, that I'm going to come away with nightmares. But
Probably, yeah.
It just seemed a bit strange that she hit Peter on the elbow with her handbag.
Yeah, she has a handbag, this lovely Lizzie doll, and she smacked her own dad on the elbow with a handbag. Like, hey, I'm right here. Give me attention. She really likes attention, that one.
Yeah, we'll bring her back down on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll have her in the background for a little bit. Oh, she also threw herself at you as well, didn't she, from the sofa? Do you remember?
Yeah, left off the back of the sofa. Yeah.
Yeah, on the back of the sofa, and you just saw her just like disappear and smack him on the back of the head, and I was just like, oh my god, was that something? So yeah, she moved on camera, and yeah, it's quite interesting to see what these two amazing members of our team have at their very haunted farmhouse. So yeah, we're going to see that on Saturday, guys. So make sure that you're there to see that.
Indeed.
And we will see you guys then. Very interesting. Thank you, Facebook user.
So on Saturday, 9:30 on the Truth Beyond Paranormal channel, we will actually post a very small poster to remind people that we will be live at 9:30. And then obviously at 9:30 we will go live. If you haven't already, set your notifications for the group onto all notifications. That way, as soon as we go live, you should get the notification immediately, and then you'll be able to watch the live feed. So for now, it's goodbye from myself and goodbye from the guys either side. I'm stuck in the middle, just like a sandwich. And we will see you all on Saturday night, 9:30.
You will, and it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see you guys again. So we will see you next time.
Okay,
bye,
bye.
guys. Bye.